Come on.
Do I sound like I'm joking? Do I sound like I'm playing? When you look into my eyes, you understand what I'm saying? Let me say it to you slowly, and it may sound scandalous. I don't think that you can handle this.
Once again, we are on. I am the Mojo King. Mike Steph will be here shortly. And we are Hidden Gems Football, brought to you by the mighty 19 Media Group. Forgive me if I'm looking a little tired here. I think I'm a little bit under the weather. Oddly, last segment, Mike Steph wasn't feeling well. Now I'm not. I think I got it from him. In this episode, we are going over the prime time games for Week 6. That's Sunday night and Monday night. We're talking Bengals, Giants, and Bills, Jets. All right, no more small talk. Let's jump into it with Sunday night's game. That is the 1-4 Cincinnati Bengals are heading to New York to face the 2-3 Giants. The Bengals are 3.5-point favorites, while Vegas is saying the total is 46.5. So Vegas is telling us that the Bengals will score 25 and the Giants will score 21.5. They have one issue on offense. That's Chase Brown, the second half of their running back tandem. He is questionable with a quad injury, but he is likely to play. On the defensive side, Mike Hilton is questionable, and Mike Hilton is a cornerback. Meanwhile, backup cornerback DJ Ivy is out, so they may be short-staffed there. As far as the Giants go, they have some significant problems on offense as far as injuries. Running back Devin Singletary is questionable with a groin injury. He was out last week. And maybe more importantly, wide receiver rookie Malik Nabers is still out with a concussion. Also, Jamie Gillen is out with a pulled hamstring. He's been replaced on the roster. And in case you don't know, linebacker Kayvon Thibodeau is out with wrist injury. He's on injured reserve. All right, let's see what Mike Steph has to say about this game.
Now, in the first half of a double dose of New York primetime action, we're talking about the Sunday Night Football matchup between the New York Football Giants visiting the Cincinnati Bengals. Well, as I've said before, I'm compromised when it comes to my selections due to my late brother's affinity, my late brother's fandom for the Giants. So all my former years of plucking them and making cracking jokes and all that, I play it straight up when it comes to them. They're 2-3, fresh off a outstanding, surprising victory against the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle, 29-20, in which they blocked the field goal and returned it for a touchdown in the waning moments of that game. The big thing coming out that game was two things. One, the reemergence of Darius Slayton, Mr. Brickhands himself. He had 8 catches for 122 yards and 1 touchdown on 11 targets. But the biggest revelation was rookie running back Tyrone Tracy Jr., who had 129 yards on 18 carries, 7.2 yards per carry. Daniel Jones had a very competent game. Matter of fact, above competent. 23 of 34, 257 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, most importantly. Now, going with the Cincinnati Bengals are 1-4, and they're fresh off an overtime loss against their division rivals in the Baltimore Ravens in a barn burner, maybe the game of the year, 41-38. In that game, Joe Burrow was 30 of 39 for 392 yards, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception, becoming, I believe, the first person in NFL history to actually pass for 5 touchdowns in a game and end up at the losing end. Jamar Chase finally broke out of his season-long slump. 10 catches, 193 yards, 2 touchdowns. And T. Higgins, I guess, joined the party with 9 catches for 83 yards and 2 touchdowns as well. Do you know that on the season, Joe Burrow has thrown for 12 touchdowns? He's averaging 274 yards. But yet this team is 1-4. Is it because of everything he's doing? No. Is it because of maybe a lot of people aren't actually living up to the expectations? Perhaps. Is it because the defense has fell off a cliff? Probably that's the case. Defensively, they are 29th in the league with 6 sacks. They're 13th in the league with 3 interceptions. And how many points per game are they allowing? 29 points. If you're scoring 28 points per game, which is 4th in the league, and you're allowing 29 points, which is second to last in the league, guess what? That equals a 1-4 record. So let's get down to business. The Cincinnati Bengals are favored by 3.5 points, primarily because they're at home. The New York Giants, while they might not have the talent to match up mano a mano, first and foremost, their front line is getting it. They had 7 sacks last week. Second of all, most importantly, Brian Daboll can coach, and coaching is half the battle. And if I'm going to take Brian Daboll or Zach Taylor, I'm not going to lie, I'm taking Brian Daboll. So with that being said, I'm taking the New York Giants plus the 3.5, and that over under, I'm going under because I believe that the Giants are going to win, but they're not going to really be able to win a shootout per se. But their defense is going to maul Mr. Joe Burrow and have him running home to be home alone like Macaulay Culkin. So, yeah. Giants plus 3.5, over, under.
All right, a couple of quick notes. One, the game is in New York. Mike Steph had the graphic backwards as far as the home team. Also, if you notice, his total was at 48 points. My total here is at 46.5 points. I just happened to look at an update. It's down to 45.5 points. Bettors are going under on this one. All right, as far as predictions go, if you've been watching HGF, then you know I've gone against the Giants several times so far this season, and mostly have been wrong. But some people never learn, and I am as hard-headed as they come. So I'm going with the Bengals minus the 3.5 points this week. For me, it comes down to this. The Bengals have been losing, but they've been losing to top-tier teams. I think the Giants are a tier or two below that. I like the Bengals minus the 3.5. Now, as far as the over-under, that's a lot more tricky for me because I was going to go under easily at 48. I was still going under at 46.5. If you're looking at betting lines now at 45.5, I would probably suggest staying away. But since I have to make a prediction, I'm still going to go under. All right, let's shift our attention back to New York. The 3-2 Buffalo Bills are heading to New York to face the 2-3 New York Jets. The Bills are 2-point favorites, and the projected total is 40.5 points. That means Vegas is telling us that Buffalo will score 21.75, while the Jets score 19.75. As far as injuries, the Bills are dealing with a couple of major ones to starters. Running back James Cook has a foot/toe injury. He is questionable. Meanwhile, wide receiver Khalil Shakur has an ankle injury. He's been limited in practice, did not play last week. He looks like a game-time decision. Meanwhile, on defensive end, Ed Oliver has a hamstring pull, and he is out. On the Jets side, tight end Tyler Conklin has had a hip injury. He's been limited all week and is questionable. Meanwhile, not questionable is defensive back Michael Carter. He is out for the week. But the Jets may have a couple of reinforcements coming back. Offensive lineman Morgan Moses looks ready to go after missing 2 weeks. And linebacker CJ Mosley may return this week after missing 3 weeks. He's likely to be a game-time decision as well. Mike Steph, I know you have a lot to say about this game, particularly the coaching changes. Take it away.
The final matchup on this slate of games that I've reappeared on would be the Monday night matchup in which the Buffalo Bills visit MetLife Stadium to go against my beloved New York Jets. Now, this is going to kind of double as my little, well, not little, there ain't nothing little about me, my one big thing going along with this prediction of mine. One of the things, as I said at the beginning, that brought me out of my silence during my vacation was the firing of head coach Robert Saleh. He's been replaced by interim head coach, defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich, and there's a lot of blame to go around. Woody Johnson, Robert Saleh, Nathaniel Hackett, and Aaron Rodgers. For the sake of time, I will concentrate on Hackett and Rodgers, and Saleh to a certain degree. Nathaniel Hackett has always been a bum. I mean, he lasted 15 games as head coach in Denver. Last year, when they didn't have Aaron Rodgers, he showed no inclination to be able to adjust to his personnel, to be able to try to guide Zach Wilson throughout the terrain of the season. And this offense was more than inept. This offense was damn right putrid. You would think with Aaron Rodgers back at the helm and being the fact they're so simpatico with each other that the results would be much better. Do you know within by the first 5 games of this season, we're pretty much on par with our offensive input or our offensive output from last year when we didn't have Aaron Rodgers? So you mean Aaron Rodgers and Zach Wilson are on the equal plane? Or more likely, what's the common denominator? Nathaniel Hackett. The number one option on our team when it comes to wide receivers is not our all-world third-year wide receiver, our stud Garrett Wilson. No. It's brick hands Alan Lazard in the flesh. Now, being the fact they joined at the hip, got to be Aaron Rodgers also, right? Aaron Rodgers, two games, back-to-back games, back-to-back losses. He had the ball in his hand with a chance to win the game. He had the ball in his hands. His job coming here was to put us over the hump. The defense have done their job so far. The defense is 5th in the league in points allowed at 17 points a game. He hasn't done his job. The offense is 25th in the league with points scored per game at 18.6. What's amazing is this team is 2-3. The team we're going against is 3-2. With all that chaos that's surrounding this team, do you know that if we, and yes, I say we, if the New York Jets beat the Buffalo Bills this Monday night, we'll be in first place? The Buffalo Bills have been reeling, especially Josh Allen. Josh Allen, well, officially doesn't have concussion protocol, but if anybody saw that game, they know darn well Josh Allen hasn't had a game in which he completed 9 passes out of 30 attempts in years. His bell was rung. And even with that being said, they still had a chance to win that game. The Buffalo Bills are favored by 2.5 points, and I got to take my heart out of it. And I will say the New York Jets will cover plus 2.5. And tell you the truth, I'm going with the New York Jets to outright win this game. That over-under, I'm going under because guess what? Our offense sucks. Their offense is at least efficient. And, yeah, I just think that's how it's going to be.
All right, Mike Steph did a very thorough investigation of this game. I'm simply going to give you my thoughts on it. I'm going to take the Bills -2 because I think they are just a more competent team, at least as far as offenses goes. It's not even close. The Jets and their new coaching staff will have to prove me wrong before I'm on their side. And by the way, the main thing I think they could do to prove me wrong is to get Garrett Wilson some deep attempts. As for the over-under, 40.5 points is ridiculously low when you think about Aaron Rodgers versus Josh Allen. But these offenses the last couple of weeks have been horrendous. If Khalil Shakur is able to play, I will take the over. If not, it's no bet for me. I'll still take the over just for the show, but I would not be betting it. All right, that's all I got. Does Mike Steph have anything else? We'll see. If not, Mike Steph, take us home.
Before the rumors happen, second time in 3 weeks, they're not recording together. This is the second time in 3 weeks that they seem to be on different pages. Is their breakup imminent? No. We both have families. We both have lives. And yet, our undying commitment to give you, the masses, what you need, all the news that you can use. His schedule is different than my schedule this week. And guess what? We fall like Voltron and we come together. And I guess since I'm wearing black, that would make me Black Lion. And you know who the Black Lion is, right? Hopefully next week, we will be back together again. You and me and I back together again for the world. But if not, we hope that you are back with us for another week, another edition of Hidden Gems Football. We appreciate everybody who has checked us out over the last couple of weeks. We truly appreciate it. With all that being said, Hidden Gems Football is a part of the 19 Media Group.
Bye.
Bye.
High five. This is a 19 Media Group presentation.
Nathaniel Hackett and his inept play call. Because a lot of people fail to realize, or a lot of people conveniently forget, when he was in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers, he did not call the plays. Matt LaFleur called the plays. Matt LaFleur was the architect of that offense, though. Robert Saleh, people could say he got a Delta raw hand, and that perhaps is true. But also at the same time, you're the head coach, buddy. You need to put your foot down. Not in a passive aggressive way, but letting everybody know from the door. The buck stops with me. I kind of gave four suspects on my pod. The social thoughts of Mike Steph did an emergency sprinkle of salt episode a couple of days ago, and I broke it down, and I could find out on the final cut.